Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. Today we are in the basement bait shop. We are going to do a build to catch of the MHX NSJ 871 blank, which you can see right here. This is my favorite blank for most finesse presentations when you're talking about light line, light lures, and it has quickly become my favorite rod to use for the core tackle hover rig. You guys have seen me do a lot of videos catching a bunch of fish with a hover rig, and during those videos I've gotten a lot of questions from viewers regarding my rod. What is the best rod to use? And to me, my favorite one that I found is this MHX NSJ 871 blank. So it's a 7.3 medium light spinning rod. We are going to build it for you. We're going to take it out on the water, catch a couple of fish on the hover rig. I'm going to walk you through the process. I do want to point out, guys, that mudhole.com is where you can get all these components, and they've just recently put together the Matt Steffen Signature Series rod build kit of the NSJ 871. And what that means is you can go to mudhole.com, you can buy the kit, you're going to get the exact components that I put on my rods. In this case, all the components that I use on the NSJ 871, as well as the measurements. So you can build the exact rod that I'm using to fish the core tackle hover rig and have a lot of success on it. So let's get this build done as fast as we can so we can get out on the water and catch some fish. All right, so I've got all of the components for the most part of the reel handle and the butt ready to go. I reamed out using my CRB reamer set and just a handheld drill. I reamed out both the nubbins on both sides so that they would fit, and then I glued in the insert into the reel seat, and all of these now I just need to glue into place to create a actual usable reel handle. And then I've also got a butt grip that I've reamed out that I will put on the back. Pretty simple process. The other thing that I did is I did find the spine of the blank using my CRB spine finder, as well as, and you can see it here, I marked up where I want all of my reel handles as well as all my guides so that I've got that using my China marker, using the dimensions that are provided in the rod kit. So I've got here a 2-part rod paste glue. This is just the Pro paste. So I've got this an equal quantity of each mixed up. I need to apply it because I only have 30 minutes before it actually sets. So we're going to put that on right now for you, just so you can see basically how easy the process is. The other thing that I want to point out is I did take some tape and I arbored up the rod blank to get my reel handle to fit. And you arbor it up to the point where you just get a nice little snug fit. We're going to coat it in the paste to get it to actually seal into place. But it's a pretty simple process, guys. If you're looking for the complete way to build this, you can go back and look at a number of my my other rod builds that I've done, where I actually walk you through everything from arboring to reaming out, just getting it all going for you. We'll get this going. The other thing I would recommend is to have some alcohol wipes pre-made, which I've done here. I just have a bunch of that poured onto some torn up paper towels. So I'm going to coat this whole area. Give it a nice good coat. Now remember, any of the excess will come right off. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to slide up my bottom nubbin up to my mark, which is right there. Now I'm going to slide down my reel seat, twisting it into place. Got a nice snug fit. You're going to have some excess glue there, which we can wipe right off. I'm just going to take most of it off right now. I'll come back and clean it up real good, but I just want to take most of that off. Get a nice fit. Make sure we're lined up with our spine. Just like that, and then I'm going to push down the bottom nubbin. I got to put a little bit more glue for that. Slide the top nubbin down. Get that to fit. I'm going to take off a little excess glue again. So that's a nice, good, snug fit. And then I just need to put my butt grip on, which again, I have reamed out a little bit. The nice thing is with these, most of your lighter finesse spinning rods, you really don't have to ream out much. You know, you can usually get away with just using the smallest reamer. Will basically get the job done. And in this case, I'm just going to put it on the bottom part of the rod blank. I'm going to take my butt grip. I'll twist that into place. And line that up to make sure now that I've got it where I want it. Okay, I would say that's good. So I'm going to finish cleaning up the glue here and make sure I've got rid of all the excess glue. Then I'm going to give this about 30 minutes to let it dry to the point where I feel like I can put it in the rod turner and start threading on the guides. Okay, so it's been a half hour, actually a little bit longer than a half hour because I came down at a half hour mark and started putting the thread work on. I've just put basically a little bit of decorative wrapping. I put the label on, I put the hook keeper on, but we're going to start doing the guides now. And I want to show you how to wrap one. And we're going to do this up pretty quick. Right now, we've probably only got like, I'm going to say 25 minutes worth of work on. It generally takes me about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes to do the entire rod, from gluing it up to doing the thread work, putting the epoxy on. Generally speaking, it probably took me about 2 hours when I first started building, but now I've got that down to about an hour, hour and 15 minutes. Let me show you how to put one of the guides on. All right, so all I've done is I heated the foot of the guide, dabbed it on a rod tip glue stick, and then stuck it on top of the blank. So it's on there, not real good, but it's on there good enough to allow me to thread it. So I'm going to take my thread, I'm going to start at the foot of the guide. I'm going to wrap it one time away from the guide. I'm going to cross over my thread. And now, because it's a larger guide, I like to wrap it 3 or 4 times just to allow me to build up my line. And then at this point, I'm just going to start threading up the guide itself. Now, because this is a bigger foot, you got to make sure that you're stacking your line right and make sure you're not crossing over it. But we're basically just wrapping it, making sure everything is in a nice row, trying not to take too much pressure off of the one. So all you're doing is stacking it up until you get up to the point where your line, your tag end, crosses underneath, which is right there. So at this point, I can let go of the tag end. I generally wrap it 1 or 2 more times just to cross over that tag to secure the tag end in. Now I can go ahead and cut it off. Right down at the base. And at this point now, it's just a matter of continuing to wrap, make sure everything is going on nice and smooth. Hopefully you guys can see this all right. You don't want to cross it. You're going to continue to stack it up until you're about 1/4 inch of the way from the top of the thread, or at top of the guide. Oh, it came off there. We can make this all look pretty at the end using our burnishing tool. Right now I'm just trying to get everything on there. Okay, so at this point I'm going to go ahead and add my pull through, and a pull through is just what we're going to use to pull our tag end after we cut the thread from the spool. I'm going to go up to about the point where the guide starts to pull away from the rod. A couple more wraps. I'm going to say right there. Okay, so now I'm going to loosen the thread. I have my finger holding tension here. I'm going to cut my thread from the spool. I like to use a tweezers, go through my pull through, grab my tag end, pull it through the loop of the pull through. Now I'm going to pull that tight. I can take my tension off the threading, pull the pull through tight. So now that's holding the tag end. I can go ahead, cut my thread. Now I'm going to put a little tension on top of where I cut it, pull my pull through. That pulled my tag end underneath the thread. So now everything is locked in place. Now I'll just take my burnishing tool and make everything nice and tight. And that looks pretty good, just like that. Now we'll move to the next guide. Okay, so we've got all of our guides on. We've got the rod sitting in the rod turner ready for our two-part epoxy. We're going to go ahead and apply this on top of the threads, the label, lock everything in place, let it dry overnight, and head out on the water to see if it can catch us a few fish on a hover rig. Got one, Hank. Another one on the old hover rig. Well, we've got the new NSJ 871 that we just made. And Hank's off of school for the summer, so we came out we got an hour to fish. And then we're picking up Mom and Duke, and we're gonna go get some dinner. And we wanted to put the rod to use. I'm using an NSJ 871, the one we just built. I've got it paired with the Revo MGX by Abu Garcia. Hank's throwing the NSJ 871 with a Revo rocket. We're gonna see what we can catch. The river's been fishing really tough lately, but we wanted to put the rod to use. Come out here, catch a couple on the hover rig. We're fishing everything from rock flats to lay down trees to some docks. You really can put this rod to use in almost any situation. It skips great. It can handle bigger fish if you happen to run into something. What do we got? What is that? A walleye. It handles walleye, and the hover rig catches walleye.
Yeah, it catches everything.
catches everything. That's a small keeper probably. Like that. It's a technique that just manages to catch everything. And that walleye mangled our flatworm. So we're gonna see what we can catch. We got, like I said, about an hour, not even quite. So come along with us. Got him? There you go, Hank. How's it feel? Rock bass, big rock bass.
That's a PB.
That's a PB.
Measure him. Let's measure him.
Hankster with a nice rock bass on the hover rig. Oh, Hank, oh. I'll let you get rid of him. Got him? All right. How's he feel? Oh, you got a big pike. Hold on. Or is it a muskie? No, it's a big, don't pull him, Hank, don't. You can't horse him. You were lucky to get your bait back. He spit it and gave it back. Huh?
We've had 20 blow-ups already. So we've only had like 4 or 5.
God dang it, another one just followed it, Hank. You got my, there he is. Little one.
Whose would have been bigger?
Yours, I think, I don't know, they're probably the same size. Mine weighed more.
Yeah, definitely.
You got my tail on that one. Get him, Hank. Here, swing him. All right, long, skinny river smallie.
You do need a new football.
Here.
My second fish, if you count the pike.
Oh, there he goes. Nice one. He was probably a 14-incher. Skinny though. There's one, Hank. Another small keeper. Right at about. All right, well, we got 2 strangers on shore over there that we're gonna pick up. We're gonna head over to a restaurant on the water, get some dinner.
Oh, hey.
Hank and I fished for about an hour. We caught a bunch of little fish. The river's fishing really tough right now. We had a couple of small, what would be keepers, 14 to 15 inchers, walleye, rock bass, northern, a little bit of everything you can catch on the hover rig. And if you're looking for a good rod to use it with, you should try making one yourself with the MHX NSJ 871. Phenomenal rod for throwing the hover rig. And you can get the new signature kit at mudhole.com. I'll put the link for that in the video description, but you get all the parts, all the different dimensions, so you can build the exact rod that you saw both Hank and I using today on the water. Go check those out. Thanks for watching. We're gonna go get some food.